Good morning, everybody. These on. It's a little windy out, so I hope it's not too bad of audio. But got a slow day today, so doing a little walk and talk on this beautiful trail, and maybe a little exercising. That men's conference camping thing I was talking about before is 10 days away, and I haven't done a dang thing for training at all. I'm still fat and out of shape. I'm in better shape than I look, actually. Like last year we did this running thing and I just took off. I don't know why, but I can run fast. And got people trying to recruit me for softball teams and stuff. They're like, what the? Because I don't look like I could move, but I can move pretty good. So yeah, it's a slow day. Now that I say that, I'll probably get like 3 calls to like go do something, but I'm just gonna try to enjoy the day. And trying to start up a little online store, just some t-shirts and maybe decals and whatnot, just something for some passive income. Since I'm not working today, I can work on making money other ways. And it's kind of what I told the wife to do also. She's still kind of stuck in that job though. And it's exhausting. Like when kids are waking you up every other night at 2:30 in the morning, you don't really want to wrap your head around new stuff after a long day. So I'll get it going. Hopefully that'll give us a cushion and she can get it going too. Saga continues. So the backstory here is Jaja got the house we're living in now, and it was a total rehab. I wasn't going to work on it because I wasn't going to do business with family, not at that high level. And it was a poor investment. She's really good at poor investments. She's lost a lot of money just throwing money around, doesn't even know how to read a contract. So she finds this Nigerian contractor, and I knew it was bad from the moment I met him. I happened to be at the house when he pulled up for the first time. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Da da da. He like did not want to talk to me. I'm like, that's not good. And he had like weird little rules, like nobody can come look at the progress of the house. That's not a red flag. You know what I'm saying? So this thing took forever, and she tried to get a deal out of him. And every time these people try to get a deal out of someone, they end up losing big time. Every time they try to penny pinch, it's just ridiculous. They never learn. But anyways, before she even purchased this fixer-upper, we'll call it, I was like, okay, Jaja, I'm not even gonna try to talk you out of it because that'll just make you want to do it more because you act like a 5-year-old girl. I'm like, but do you know what you're getting into? I'm like, do you know how much it's gonna cost to rehab this place? Because for the location, she got a killer deal, especially for these times. And she's like, about $120,000. I'm like, well, to get it done halfway right completely and in the time frame you want, try 150. But you're kind of online. So the dude quotes her at 113, which is low. Like that's spooky low. Like that's not going to be totally done. But her strategy was just get it good enough and probably Jeff will do the rest or whatever. And then she talked him down to 90 and he accepted. That's not good. So just for you people out there who are getting people to work on your house, I know everybody wants cheap and quick, but what happens with cheap and quick people often is they'll give you a low estimate and then halfway through they realize they ripped themselves off. So they either just quit and leave, especially if you don't have a contract, or you just start running into problems and unfinished work or just really crappy work because they didn't even know how much to bid it. They didn't even know the jobs they were doing. They're just going to go figure it out, and then they figure out if they don't already know how to do it, it takes a lot more time and work. So depends on what you're getting done. But anyways, so this dude, he just kind of popped in and out whenever he felt like it. We had a timeline, got close to the timeline. Me and the wife and Angel and the 2 kids had to get out of the rental place because it was too small and it was falling apart too. And told the guy a few weeks ahead of time we're moving in this upper level, which should have been done a month ago on this date. He's like, all right, cool. And then I don't know, he stalled. I was in and out of that house doing little things here and there that wasn't on his contract, just to get the place functional, because things like faucets and broken up tiles in bathtubs, you need that stuff fixed to make it functional. Anyways, so he had a tendency to like show up at like 9:30, 10, look around for a little bit, go into the store, come back 4 or 5 hours later. Once in a while he'd put in like a half day's work or a whole day's work. This is over the course of like 6 months or so. Just kept doing it, never really finished. And then he planned a vacation. Still not done, but he wanted to be paid in full. I'm like, don't do it. And then he promised to come back. He did come back like 3 months later and did a couple things, which surprised me. But there's a catch. So now it's even 3 or 4 months past that. Everything was settled, but now he's charging her another $10,000 for whatever. And I'm like, call a lawyer and just reply to his email. I'll see you in court. Get at least half your money back or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because now he's extorting her. And I think he thinks he can do it because he was going to try to bid the burnt down house. And I think he knows that she was playing some possible money games with the insurance company. And he knows that she don't want that coming out. Even though it wouldn't. That's why you get a lawyer. It has nothing to do with it. So yeah. She's like, what do I do? I'm like, the same thing I keep on telling her. I'm like, Margaret, you cut me out of this from the beginning. You wanted to be the boss. Deal with it. It's part of being a boss. Everybody wants to be a boss until it comes time to do boss ass shit. So that's the ongoing house drama. It's just never ending. Never ending. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do a little exercise today. And I gotta slow things down. So that's the problem with the work. It's either like feast or famine. And when I'm going real fast, I smoke more, I eat more junk, all this stuff. I wouldn't even mind getting out of the biz. I love doing it, so I like do it here and there. But like to get busy doing it and make that big money, easily get off balance, easily. But like I told my wife and you guys earlier, this day and age, there's options. So maybe I'll plug my online store later. Like I said, just starting with shirts and decals and stuff. Maybe I'll put some crosses up there. In the intro you'll see a bunch of flashes of crosses. I like to build big crosses, like 3-footers. Sucks for shipping because anything over 19 inches is super expensive, but that makes it where you can't find these anywhere. And if you got like a big wall, like you really want to put like the little tiny 9-inch cross or foot size cross somewhere. And I don't know if I've said it in other casts or whatever, but I'm like, I don't really make them to like make profit. I just like making them. Half the time I like just giving them away. Same with the books that I wrote. I've sold a few. You know, I'm not banking on it or nothing, but like I gave away just as many as has sold online. I'm just trying to get information out there. So, and I just recently read something that hit me. Some marketing thing, like you sell the problem you're solving, not the solution. And if you've been listening to the videos, just recently I made one where I'm like, here's some basic addiction recovery fundamentals. Ask anybody you know, doctor or recovery, if they know them. Like, the problem in that area is pretty much, they tell you the right things to do, but not why. And that's a very significant aspect to almost anything. It's just like if you are learning even just a new job in anything, or say working on a car or something. And yeah, the first stage is just do this. You know, you got to do this, you got to do that. There's no why in there. And when you get good at your job or this new thing you're learning, you start understanding, oh, why do you got to do it that way? That's when you start getting proficient, right? So like I said, just when you start a new job, you're lost. You're just doing what you're told to do. You have no idea why you're doing it, and you suck at it. It's not until you understand why you're doing what you were told to do that it starts clicking, and it becomes easy. And that's kind of the point that I hit with teaching kids. These parents are just do what I say. You know what I mean? They never explain why you're making them do it. And it's even worse if they see you doing the opposite. Then you're just harboring resentment, you know? So that's my niche for addiction recovery, and it puts it in an understandable and simple way. It even explains like why certain things don't work, but they help. It puts it all together like a puzzle, and puts all the little pieces together. All these little catchphrases, chemical dependence. Well, dependent on what? You know what I mean? Allergy. Well, how does it work like an allergy? And once you understand those questions, it all becomes way easier. You become proficient at it, and you come out like, this thing that seems nearly impossible to everybody and hopeless and all this stuff, it was actually quite easy. How frustrating is that? Because my personal story is I was one of the few who wanted to get sober for years and years. I just didn't really get how. I tried everything they told me to try, but it was all failing until I understood the why I was doing it. And then it worked like, it was just smooth. It's like warm butter. So after this little hike just to get warmed up, there's big hills. I'm not jogging today. Still too fat. I'll go hit up the kids' jungle gym stuff I made in the backyard a little bit, stretch for a lot of it, and continue catching up on cleaning and whatnots. Got like 7 loads of laundry. All right. So I got a bit of a quandary I'm going to share with y'all. And this has to do with that dream I had and this shift in routine me and the family are planning. It's kind of funny when you kind of get what you want and then you don't want it. So, to recap, I had this very revealing dream, and it was very cryptic and all that stuff, but I don't dream that often, at least that vividly, and I pay attention when I do. And even going along with a lot of the stuff I've been talking about, especially recovery, I feel like I've been straying. You know, I guess you could say I'm straying from some of the things that I say. So, like, I've been coaxing the wife to do these other hustles to get out of her job. so she can take care of herself. And part of this whole thing, I think, is nudging me to do the same. As much as I like my job, see, I'm a handyman, and I was planning on getting my residential remodeler license and just doing it. And I do make decent money. I can make a lot more money. But then there's the balance. And there are some parts of the job, like any job, that just drive me nuts. You know, customers for the most part are awesome. Just investors and people, contracts, all that kind of sucks. I like to work alone, but then the work itself is hard. You got to be a MacGyver half the time, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so that makes it a little more stressful. And so I am thinking of taking my own advice and doing what I told my wife. And there's other factors. For one, like I said, I said at the beginning of this whole vlog I started, like, I gotta get my health back. And now I'm talking about it, you know what I'm saying? And it's reminded me, and now that I took kind of a little mental break from pushing to do more business and have the family allow me to do more business, I'm finding myself getting more and more burnt out. I've gauged it, I've measured it, and it's as if I've been redlining myself for the past 6 months. Like, not really, but teeter-tottering on the stinking thinking. You know what I mean? And it's been showing in, like, my diet a little bit and my smoking. When I'm busy at work making money, I'm on autopilot. I'm just... Whereas generally for the last, I don't know, few decades, I'm good with like a half a pack a day. Crazy, right? Unless I'm busy, then I'll smoke a whole pack. And an e-cig. So it's kind of like, where do I draw the line? It's so easy to fall back into the worldly things. And yes, you got to pay the bills. But I'm not a dumb dude. I can figure out other ways to make money, and I will still do handyman work because I love it. But there's something about doing what you love and then needing to do what you love to do all the time. You know what I mean? I'm getting phone calls in the evening, all weekend. I'm always planning, and I'm not even like balls to the wall busy. I do that on purpose. I don't overbook. You know, to convince myself I'm keeping a balance, but I can see where it's going to go. And I'm thinking about dialing it all back and getting back to my own basics. And whenever you do that, it's kind of funny because I've done it a million times before. That's how I know it. But something happens when you're relaxed, and especially when you're really hanging out with God a lot. Everything kind of works itself out, and you're not pushing and working so hard. For some reason, you have money. For some reason, you just feel way better. You don't need to go compulsively buy or smash that whole half of a cake or whatever your thing is, smoking nonstop or whatever, masturbation, whatever it is. So I think I'm going to start taking my own advice. That's a tough one. You know, and I'll build off of some of the things I've already started that seemed unfruitful at that time, but you never know. You know, you get back into it. So that's where I'm at with that. It's a tough one, man. Because, like, I kind of got everybody's hopes up, like, oh, he's going to be this contractor guy and da-da-da. You know, and now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to switch lanes again on you. You know, I'm not going to do it overnight. But, you know, I get sick of chasing jobs, then chasing the money for the jobs, keeping it all together. like I said, half the work isn't even the actual labor part, and then that's... Dude, I was on one foot on top of these shelves trying to put a wall up yesterday. Shelf almost broke. Stuff like driving all the time, that's actually a big liability, driving around all day. I just went to the store to get some ingredients for dinner, and I already totaled my other van, but just at the off-ramp stoplight, I saw a work truck, rear end, heard the smack, this car in front of him. Now, the more and more you drive, the more likely that crap happens. So, as if it's not already a hard enough life, you know what I mean? I'm kind of a homebody too, and I do plan on taking the little guy and homeschooling him too. So I think I need to take what I told my wife to do. She was on board with doing it, but she's not quite built that way. She's not self-motivated like I am. She does kind of need a go-to-work structure. So if I can get my stuff going, I can get her stuff going so she can work remote and work at home and have more time instead of working full-time to take care of herself. But I could already feel she was shying away from it. It's because it's not her style, and it makes her really nervous, even just thinking about leaving a wage job, which is understandable. So, sorry, my AC was on that whole time. You probably didn't hear a word I said. So that's where I'm at with that. I don't know. I'll just have to pray on it. Sometimes you just got to pray on it and wait a day or two and whatever. But it is what it is. So yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of what I was just talking about the big shift. And it took a few days for me to realize it all. I did, before I even told you guys, I did run it past the wife. She's totally on board. She's like, go for it. Probably because she didn't want to do it herself. But the big thing is this the whole recovery thing. Now, I say and consider myself recovered from addiction. If you look at the definition in the first paragraph of the first page of the big book, it's, we have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body, and I have recovered. But just because, say, you recovered from a broken leg, doesn't mean you can't re-break it. And it's something that, and I have years and years of sobriety, and obviously I'm pretty knowledgeable about a few different modalities and all that stuff, but that does not mean I am not subject to fall whim to the world and redline myself, man. You gotta catch it. For me, my history was a repeated attempts, lots of relapses back in the day. One of the things I learned from those is nothing that you're doing in life matters if you can't keep your sobriety, because once that's gone, everything else falls away with it real quick. Now, the difference between now and then is, and this was before I even met my wife, which is like over a decade ago, but I got more to lose now. I got a lot more to lose. I got my wife and my kids. I got friends and family, respect and all that stuff. And it's not a secret, but it's hidden. Like, even if friends and family that I have now don't know that I have this underlying condition, like, even if they know it, even if I've told them, I was a raging alcoholic, they can't see it. I think the wife has been feeling it recently, though. That's why she's like, go for it. Take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself. Because she's that connected and in tune with it and everything. And that is her biggest fear, too. And she's never even seen me bad. I think she saw me relapse, like little tiny weekend relapses, like in the very beginning of our relationship or something. And that was, I'm like, babe, and she couldn't stand that. I'm like, babe, I would go on like months long benders, a liter of vodka per day, plus other miscellaneous party favors if the money was good, like Hellion style relapse. She's like, I don't care. I don't want to. I don't want to see you drunk. So, not that I'm a dick. It's a whole different person. I remember we went out one night and like she saw how all these people were attracted to drunk Jeff, and like it wasn't me. It wasn't the Jeff she knew. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool and fun for a day or two, but then I get sick, really, really sick. So yeah, and I'm not abusive or anything like that, but it's not really me. And when you do stuff, like they call it spirits for a reason. You open yourself up. You really open yourself up when you're putting that stuff into your body. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think I'm hitting this recovery thing again. Like I said in the last little clip, getting back to the basics. It falls in line what I said my objectives were at the beginning, like 12 episodes ago. And you guys can follow me along my little journey, my little health journey. I'll show you how it's done because I've done it before. But like I said, time goes on, man. And even for the veterans, they all know you still gotta watch it. You might be recovered, but it doesn't mean you're totally safe. And this isn't going to turn into a addiction recovery channel. I have a whole nother channel for that if you want like in-depth information and stuff. But like it's not even what you know. It's what you do.